there's a very real chance that selling zero point zero 0.01 Bitcoin is the best move for you today. There's a very real chance that actually like you could focus on like buying the dip, and that could be the right move for you today. But if you're watching this and you've been stacking Bitcoin for a long time, there's also a very real chance that selling 0.01 Bitcoin and using the $780, the $800 to knock out a different goal in your life, or connect with your partner, or learn a skill that you don't have is the right move. There's a very real chance that that's actually the higher ROI. And I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, your goal is to stack as much Bitcoin as possible, right? That's my goal as well. Okay. The more years that have begun to kind of stack up on wrestling with this concept of Bitcoin versus fiat money, the more that kind of my mentality has changed, right? And it's not about selling down your entire stack. It's not about like frivolously getting rid of all your savings. That's not what it's about, like at all. It's about identity. Like it's about, I think for a lot of people, and I talk about this, like the philosophical moral movement of Bitcoin is a big like motivator for me. I fundamentally believe like fiat money is not good for society. Like that's not good for society. Technology has now surpassed fiat money, and we have the ability to use open source money where the monetary policy is known for everyone in the world. And that's a better way to kind of build society on that kind of foundation of understanding, rather than having centralized, finance boards monkeying around with the supply of fiat money. It's better for everyone to just understand how it works, and the amount of time and productivity we'll all get back in our own lives by not having to constantly be wondering what is like the committee that decides the supply of dollars going to do, and how's that going to affect our investments and our companies and our ability to plan for the future, right? Like that's going to all make society better. But what does that have to do with selling 0.01 Bitcoin? What that has to do with selling 0.01 Bitcoin is because of that kind of giant weight of Bitcoin, the technology having the ability to have that big of an impact on the world. I think sometimes Bitcoiners, like individuals, have taken that entire weight on themselves, and it becomes a part of their identity. Like owning Bitcoin becomes a part of their identity in a way that hasn't been a part of their identity before, right? And once you get attached to that and have a very rigid identity, it can like hurt, and it can get confusing to ever go against that identity, right? And so if you've been diligently stacking Bitcoin, saving Bitcoin for years, 6, 7, 8 years, and you feel a dip like this in the volatility, your gut instinct is to buy the dip, right? Which is fine and awesome. And that has served you well up to this point. That's served you super, super well up to this point. And what I've been wrestling with more and more recently is like, what if what got you here won't take you there, kind of thing. Both at an individual level and on a societal level, honestly. But stick to individual today. Like, there's a very real chance, like, you're good, actually. Like, there's actually a very real chance that you, number one, that you have enough Bitcoin. But even that, say the goal is still to stack as much as possible. There's a very real chance that taking a pit stop and knocking out a different goal with your partner, or a different thing that you need to do, could actually increase your ability to get more Bitcoin in the future. And I think it's funny that a lot of times, like buying the dip is almost it's honestly almost the easier path. Like it's almost the easier path because it's the one that we've gotten good at doing. And this year I've been reflecting a lot on what if I did the opposite? Like what if you did do the opposite and experience the opposite and experience selling 0.01? Have you ever sold Bitcoin before? Have you ever used Bitcoin to buy anything before? If the answer is no, you're missing out on a part of, in my opinion, what Bitcoin is. But even deeper than that, like that's then like it's something that you're gonna have to eventually wrestle with. And so if you pull forward on the timeline, you're wrestling with that. I believe that that actually will increase the amount of Bitcoin you can stack in the future, and kind of the overall personal finance like trust you're able to have in the Bitcoin bucket really going the distance of kind of replacing fiat money. Because if you just always sit in kind of the never sell camp, it's very hard to understand like what is the future then, like what is the purpose of the future, right? And so I would pull something that has helped me is pulling forward, wrestling with things like that, and buying stuff with Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin, really feeling what it's like to incorporate Bitcoin into your personal finances. And the other thing that I think it does, is it almost re-shocks you into understanding the volatility. Like I think Bitcoin, again, people who have been doing this for a long time almost have become numb to the volatility, and that's positive, right? That's positive because that's what keeps you investing for a long time. And it's the same thing that like of any type of investing, just like really being in it for the long haul really is the like a great skill to have. So that's 100% a great skill to have. Still be in it for the long haul. I think it makes your ability to talk to someone who doesn't have Bitcoin yet harder, because we kind of just shrug off the volatility and don't even think of it as a real question. And so attaching using Bitcoin to a real goal that also matters to you almost forces the volatility to be real again. Because if an unfortunate exchange rate like pattern does happen at the same time that you're looking to knock out a goal, that can be frustrating. That's super frustrating. And I think getting reattached with that feeling will almost make you better at talking about the benefits of Bitcoin to other people. And so there's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits of selling 0.01 Bitcoin. Yeah, so blow up the comments on that one. Let me know what you think about that. For real, let me know what you think about that. And if you enjoyed that, watch these next ones, and we'll see you over there.